Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Natalie Vlatko. I am one of the co-chairs for the Special Interest Group for Docs, and this is our bi-weekly community SIG Docs call for the Kubernetes project. The date today is Tuesday, the 5th of August, 2025. And I will say that KubeCon India starts, I believe, tomorrow. And so it is maybe going to be a short meeting for today in terms of updates and information. But we'll get started anyhow. With that being said, at every SIG Docs call, we try and make sure we can welcome new folks who are joining the call and joining anything here in terms of a community stuff. So if anyone who is new who wanted to say hello and unmute and introduce themselves, or perhaps if they want to say hello in the chat, now is their time to do so.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Shayan. I work from London. I work in a fintech company called Abound. Um, yeah, and I'm a platform engineer. So I work as a senior software engineer, working with Python slash Java related stuff. Yeah, that's me.
Great. Welcome, Cheyenne. I believe actually Depeche, I think you're based in London too, who is one of our tech leads who's on the call as
Nice.
well. But that's great. Welcome to the meeting. As I
Thanks.
said, it may be a short meeting for today just because there's another KubeCon on at the moment where a lot of our contributors are taking part. But yeah, great to welcome you. If you've got any questions that can't be answered or you don't want to be answered in this meeting, please come and join the Kubernetes Slack and you can find us in SIG Docs as well.
Good enough. Great. I'll find out. Thanks.
Great. Anyone else wants to unmute and say hi or say hello in the chat?
Yeah, hi team. I'm Aman. I'm from India. I'm currently working with IBM as a cloud engineer. So Kubernetes is something which is sort of a main thing in my day-to-day task, and I use it, and I also now have started to contribute to it. And yeah, excited to be here.
Amazing. Thanks, Aman. Thanks for saying hi. Yes, I can imagine being a cloud engineer. Kubernetes is likely very relevant for you. So thanks for joining as well. Again, as I mentioned to Cheyenne, if you've got any questions that we can't answer here or any others that come up at any time, you can definitely find us in the Kubernetes Slack and the SIG Docs channel. SIG stands for Special Interest Group. That's how we here in the project group together the different parts of the code base that we own, basically, into these different groups. So welcome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Last call. Anybody else wants to unmute and say hi as a new contributor?
I'm Susan Sika. I like proofreading, so I am lurking and learning and trying to find ways that I can help.
Great. Hi, Susan. Welcome. Nate's. I was about to say Nate's interest is spiked given Nate's the head of tech writing and mentorship, I believe, at CNCF. Is that both? I think, Nate.
Yeah, that is correct.
Great. Awesome.
Fabulous.
And I think based on your name, we might have actually met, Susan.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. We've seen each other a few times.
Excellent. I just wanted to make sure that I'm connecting the right name to the right face.
Yep, that's me. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Amazing. Great. Thanks for muting, Susan. Nice to meet you. I know you and I have chatted a bit before, doing a bunch of proofreading specifically for our blog, which is great. And so for folks who are on the comms team who are on the call, you may see a review or two from Susan for some of our release blogs coming up. Great. Anyone else wants to unmute and say hi? All right. With that, if anybody else who is watching the call in YouTube land and wants to come into the community chat and say hello as a new contributor, please come and join us in the Kubernetes Slack in the SIG-Docs channel. We'd be definitely happy to welcome you there and answer any questions. There's a very useful bookmarks tab in the SIG-Docs channel for all folks listening here as well, where you'll find a lot of really useful pages and information about how to contribute as a new contributor, who the PR and issue wranglers are and what those things are as well, which I'm about to explain shortly, and a lot of other useful information for first timers there too. So definitely head to the bookmarks tab that we have in the SIG Docs channel for more info. All right, going on to the updates and reminders that we do for all of our SIG Docs meetings. As I mentioned, we have something called PR wrangling. PR wrangling is specifically something that we do weekly that all folks in SIG Docs who have approver uh, permissions, I should say, so folks who can add the approve label onto PRs. We are tasked weekly with trying to get different contributions through the pipeline so that they can be hopefully merged into the code base. And so we try and make sure that all different approvers have different weekly shifts to help with this. And interestingly, this week's PR Wrangler is me. And this coincides very well with the docs freeze that we have for the release coming up. So a lot of the stuff that I'm doing in the next, yesterday and today and likely tomorrow, is going to definitely be related to the docs freeze. But if anyone else has other questions about PRs that they want to get kind of reviewed or possibly through the contribution pipeline, you feel free to tag me in the PR if you wish. My Kubernetes, my GitHub handle is @NatalieSucks, so you can absolutely tag me there. Next week's PR Wrangler is Nate, who is on the call as well. And the following week's PR Wrangler is Divya. Divya is another one of our co-chairs here for SIG Docs. She's also at KubeCon India, so for folks, she may not be around this week to answer any questions, but hopefully in a couple of weeks, she's back on there as well. And then with that, we also have something called issue wrangling. Issue wrangling is a very similar thing where we try and get issues that are opened up in the specifically the website repository. We try and get them triaged as best as we can. And what that means is we look through issues to see if they should be worked on, try and helpfully tag them so that contributors looking for issues that they want to work on in the specific docs and website repository that they can jump into. That could be anything regarding our actual documentation, or it could be website related work with JavaScript and CSS as well. With that, this week's issue wrangler is Chi Ming, who is one of our tech leads, and next week's issue wrangler is Shannon Kularatna as well. So for folks who have any questions about issues, those are the folks that you can absolutely tag or reach out to in the next couple of weeks. For all kinds of folks who are approvers and reviewers, please check the PR and issue wrangling shift so that you know that when you're on the hook, so to speak, given that you'll likely have folks who might reach out to you and ask questions. For folks here who are also new, you might be interested in getting these invites kind of synced to your calendar and being able to have edit access to our agenda. To do so, we'd like to ask you, to join the SIG Docs Google group, which I'm just highlighting in the shared meeting notes that I've got there. That Google group will be able to put all the different SIG Docs meetings that exist on your calendar, so you have easy access to them, and it gives you editing access to the agenda as well, so you can add in anything you need to get discussed for the next time. And then finally, I do want to note that if anyone here notices a violation of the code of conduct, of which Kubernetes has one, and the general gist of our code of conduct is to make sure to be kind and respectful to one another in all the ways and areas that we work, and on meetings is one part as well, but it also means on PRs and issues in GitHub, but also through Slack as well, in all areas that we collaborate to be respectful to one another. But if you see a violation of that code of conduct, please reach out to the Kubernetes Code of Conduct Committee. You can reach the committee by email anytime at conduct@kubernetes.io, and you can remain anonymous as well. All right. What we do now for the first, always for the first part of our SIG Docs meetings, we always do a release update. For folks who are new, Kubernetes does 3 release cycles per year. And what we do, and that means that they last for almost about 4 months. We do have little breaks in between. And that release cycle includes a lot of updates and changes and fixes that take place via docs in the website repo, specifically not only for documentation, but also for communications in our blog. And so we do updates relating to the release each meeting, specifically for those teams. I want to note a couple of important dates coming up that are applicable to our SIG. The docs freeze occurs tomorrow, August 6th. And so we will have a lot of PRs coming in that I'll be looking at for sure, as hopefully other reviewers will be too, but specifically as well, since I'm the PR wrangler this week, making sure a bunch of the docs that need to be reviewed before docs freeze can be done so, at least from the SIG docs perspective. all docs, most docs need also a technical review as well. So we also look for that from the sponsoring SIG. And then finally release day being August 27th as well. So that's coming up very shortly, and there'll be a small break before the next release cycle is kicked off, the last one for the year. And so with that, we want to go over to the different updates that we have from our teams. We'll start with docs.
Hi everyone. I'm Rashan. I'm a doc shadow. So just for our updates, we for the branch sync PR, the weekly branch sync PR, that will be created shortly. We've also been sending out reminders to docs authors to get their PRs merged before August 6th, and we'll also be sending out a second reminder. And in terms of our stats, we've been doing pretty well. So we in terms of docs that don't require anything, we have 8, and then we have 14 merged, and we have 37 ready to review. And then we're also just waiting for RC0 so we can get started on that for release notes PR as well. But so far we're green.
Amazing. I think the release cut is happening tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe. Or is that later today? Right. Okay, great. Awesome. Thanks, Rashan. Does anyone have questions for the release docs team? Okay, great. Rashan, just as a FYI for the branch sync, just because of time zones, feel free to tag a bunch of reviewers if you wish, rather than just me as a PR wrangler, just because I know branch syncs might come up at different times where folks aren't available. For folks who need to be, myself and Ray are usually around. Ray's on the west coast of the US and I'm in Europe. So just as a heads up, we might need a couple of different folks tagged for the branch sync.
Okay, will do. Thanks.
Great, thanks. Okay, let's move to release comms now for the next update.
Yep, hi, Dipesh here. So I'm one of the approvers for SIG docs in this release. I'm helping the comms team with the comms for the release. So our current status for this week is green. So we have an upcoming deadline this Friday for blogs to be in ready to review state. So we have 19 blogs that the CAP authors have been opted in. So 11 are already in a ready to review states and they have been reviewed by, I think Susan has reviewed few and few other people, 10. And the SIG leads have been reviewing those, so it's good to see. So we are tracking the remaining PRs and chasing the authors to make those PRs in a reviewable state. So that will be a task. The other task in terms of release highlights, so we have received the release highlights from all the 6. So we have received in total of 44 different caps and enhancements to highlight in the release announcement. So we are currently working on an internal draft of that release announcement. So the thought is to get that internal draft in state among us by the end of this week, and then we can raise a draft PR so that everyone can review, and hopefully the announcement should be in shape when the release comes later this month. And then in terms of webinar and press, the comms lead is chasing up with the relevant CNCF contact to have those events in place. That in terms of the update I had for now.
Great, thank you so much, Dipesh. Thanks for the update. I added the ready for review date as well under the important date, so thank you for that reminder as well. All right, does anyone have any questions for Dipesh for release comms?
Hi, I just added a note at the chat. I am one of the blog PR owner. I have a draft out and I'm checking with my buddy for review. If I understand correctly, once I get the first pass, then I check with the weekly PR wrangler on the follow-up review. Do I get the flow correctly? Please let me know if you have any suggestions for me so I don't have things slightly packed up for the
Thanks.
country time.
Yeah, for sure. What I would actually do on the blog side of things, just because we do technically have a different team for that, although sometimes I do help out, if you could go to the SIG Docs blog channel specifically.
Right.
Yep, and that would be that will get all the blog team so that they can help out with another review there as well, because our feature blogs are also reviewed by the blog team too. So that can be where you get that second review once your buddy has done their first pass.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Natalie.
Great, no worries at all. And then if you don't hear from anyone for a couple of days there, thank you so much, Depesh, for adding the channel there. Sorry, but if you don't get any kind of engagement there at all, feel free to then post that directly into SIG Docs. That's also fine, where there's a bigger audience as well, kind of linking to that. But SIG Docs blog is your first place for the blog stuff.
Sounds good to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions generally, or questions for Depesh for the release comms team?
I have a general question. I'm not sure if that is relevant to Dipesh. And that in regards with the joining the Kubernetes Slack channel. I'm trying to do that, but it says that the email address must match one of the domains listed below. But I don't have that domain done initially because I do have a Slack account.
Okay, what I would do specifically, Cheyenne, so are you a member of the Kubernetes Slack yet at all?
No, I'm not.
Okay, what you'll want to do is you do need to actually join the Kubernetes Slack and actually have your an account created there first of all. So
Sure.
yeah, thank you so much, Aman, for linking that there. You'll be able to
Thanks so
connect.
much.
Yep, no problem
Thanks.
at all. And that's the way to be
Great.
able to access that channel.
Thank you so much.
Yep, no problem. Great. Okay, and we've got so that's been the comms update. Any other questions around the release before we continue? All right. Thanks so much. Well, now we're going to go to the rest of our agenda. However, I do have to say that we don't actually have anything else on the agenda. We usually look at issues and PRs and then any questions or discussion points. So with that, I'd like to ask, does anyone have any issues or PRs they'd like to bring up or any discussion points that they'd like to bring up for today's meeting? Okay, that sounds like a no. If anyone out there in the YouTube land watching this meeting afterwards does have some issues or PRs or discussion points they'd like to bring up, of course, you can always come to the SIG Docs channel to do so after the fact, especially if it's related to something you've heard on the meeting today. But for anyone else in the channel, any last possible ask for any other topics before we end the meeting today?
Natalie, I have something to ask. So
Sure.
I see there is a shadow program for PR Wrangler. So
Correct.
I think you are the Wrangler for this week. So if the slot is empty, I would like to join as a shadow, if that's okay.
Or unfortunately, this week I've also had to say no to someone else for PR wrangling because I actually have a lot of work meetings this week and no time outside of doing the wrangling myself. So unfortunately, I have to say no for this week. However, happy to sign you up for my next shift or anyone else for any other weeks that you're available. If you want to reach out to me on the Kubernetes Slack. My @ is Natalie. You can find me there, or you can see where I've posted in the SIG Docs channel. Feel free to reach out to me and happy to assign you for my next shift in October.
No issues. Thank you.
No worries at all. I'm very sorry about that. Unfortunately, this week is just a horribly busy week for me with meetings, and I've just had to prioritize time for actually doing the wrangling as well. So apologies for that. Any other questions before we end today's meeting? All right, thanks everybody. Thank you so much for joining. For anyone else who has any other questions, feel free to jump into the SIG Docs channel. As I've said a few times, have a great rest of your day or evening, everyone. And for folks watching for later on, if you're at KubeCon India, hope you enjoy that too. Thanks so much. See you next time.